Hi everyone. I'm Tisha Teller from Tisha Teller Studio. I hope you enjoyed and also understood the power of prayer in your previous video. The part 1 of He's Under My Control. Without wasting much of your time, let's dive into the next video, which is the part 2 of the previous video. While watching, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please make sure you comment, like and share. Thank you and remain blessed. I'm still your beautiful lady, Tisha Teller, from Tisha Teller Studio. Enjoy. He's Under My Control, Part 2, A New Beginning. Elizabeth sat at the dining table, her fingers tracing the rim of her untouched teacup. The early morning sun streamed through the window, casting a warm glow across the room, but inside her heart, there was only coldness. She had spent the night tossing and turning, the weight of her failure pressing heavily upon her. The charm, the manipulation, the desperate need for control, it had all crumbled under the force of Amoka's prayers. Now, she was faced with a reality she had never wanted to accept. She had lost. Emmanuel walked in, his face weary yet kind. He sat across from her, searching her eyes. "Mama, why?" he asked softly. Elizabeth swallowed hard. She had no answer, at least not one that could erase the shame she felt. "I thought I was losing you," she murmured. "I thought if I didn't make you see my needs, you would abandon me and Peter." Emmanuel sighed, rubbing his hands together. "Mama, I have never abandoned you. But I have a family now, a wife, a child. I must take care of them too. That doesn't mean I will forsake you." Elizabeth sniffed, her eyes glistening with tears. "But it felt like that. Ever since you married Amoka, you changed. You were no longer the boy who ran to me for everything. I became second place." Amoka entered the room, holding the baby in her arms. She had heard every word but chose not to interrupt. "Mama," she finally spoke, her voice gentle. "That's how life works. When a man marries, his priorities shift. It doesn't mean he loves you any less." Elizabeth turned away, ashamed. "You don't understand, Amoka. You still have your mother. You don't know what it feels like to have no one else but a son who no longer belongs to you." Silence stretched between them. Then, Amoka slowly approached and placed the baby in Elizabeth's arms. Elizabeth hesitated, then looked down at the small face of her grandchild. A tiny hand reached up and clutched at her fingers. "You still have us, Mama," Amoka said softly. "If only you would allow yourself to see it." Something inside Elizabeth cracked. A deep, painful sob escaped her lips as she held the child close. The bitterness, the resentment, the hunger for control, it all felt meaningless now. She had spent years trying to manipulate love, but now, love was being given to her freely. And for the first time in a long while, she accepted it. Healing begins. That evening, Elizabeth did something she had never done before. She asked to join Amoka for prayer. Amoka was surprised but welcomed her with open arms. Together, they knelt and prayed, not just for forgiveness, but for healing, for restoration, and for a new beginning. As they prayed, Emmanuel stood by the door, watching his wife and his mother. A deep sense of gratitude filled his heart. Just maybe, things were finally going to be okay. Redemption and reconciliation. The days that followed were filled with quiet transformation. Elizabeth, once a woman blinded by her need for control, now found herself opening up in ways she never thought possible. She spent more time with her grandson, helping Amoka with chores, and even sat with Emmanuel to talk, not to manipulate him, but to truly listen. One evening, as they all sat together in the living room, Elizabeth cleared her throat. I need to say something, she began, her voice steady but emotional. I have wronged this family. I allowed my fears and selfishness to make me do things I never should have done. Amoka, my daughter, I especially owe you an apology. Amoka's eyes softened, and she reached for Elizabeth's hand. Mama, I forgave you the moment I found out. God's love is greater than any mistake. Elizabeth blinked back tears. And you, Emmanuel, I only wanted you to be there for Peter and me. But I see now that I was wrong. Love isn't something you force. It's something you give freely. Can you forgive me? Emmanuel swallowed hard, his heart aching for the woman who had raised him. He stood up and pulled her into a tight embrace. Mama, I love you. No matter what, you will always be my mother. Tears streamed down Elizabeth's face. For the first time, she felt truly seen, not as a desperate woman fighting for control, but as a mother still worthy of love. A true new beginning. Before Elizabeth left Abuja to return to the East, she asked for something she never thought she would seek, prayers for her own life. I want to let go of the past, she told Amoka and Emmanuel. I want to love the right way, not by force, but by grace. So they prayed together. And this time, Elizabeth didn't resist. When she finally boarded the bus back home, she carried something much greater than she had brought, a heart freed from bitterness, a family that still loved her, and a future no longer controlled by fear. As the vehicle rumbled down the road, she whispered a prayer of her own. Thank you, Lord, for giving me another chance. And for the first time in years, peace filled her heart. The end. Hi everyone. I hope you really enjoyed this second part of the video. The story, He's Under My Control, teaches several valuable lessons. 1. The danger of manipulation, trying to control others through deceit or dark means leads to destruction. Love and respect cannot be forced. 2. The power of prayer, Amoka's strong faith and prayers protected her family, showing that spiritual battles are real and can only be fought with faith. 3. Unconditional love and forgiveness, Emmanuel and Amoka chose to forgive Elizabeth despite her actions, demonstrating that love has the power to heal broken relationships. 4. Letting go of fear and control, Elizabeth's desperation came from fear of abandonment. But true love doesn't require manipulation, it is freely given and received. 5. Redemption is possible, no matter how far someone has gone in wrongdoing, there is always room for change if they are willing to seek forgiveness and embrace transformation. 6. Priorities in marriage. The story highlights the biblical principle that when a man marries, his primary responsibility shifts to his wife and children, but that doesn't mean neglecting his extended family. 7. Good versus evil. Evil schemes may seem powerful, but in the end, goodness, faith, and truth will always prevail. Prayer is still the key. Thank you. Don't forget to click on the notification bell for more updates. Stay blessed and focused. Bye.